when you talk about a program where a kid might be drawn toward, a curriculum based on his interests or her interests, how far can you go in that direction while still making sure that a child is exposed to other things that maybe they don't even have the chance to become interested in if they're not exposed?
I think that's a great question in terms of making sure that kids are broadly exposed to kind of all walks of life and not just their interest in dance, if that indeed is their interest. I think that's a balance. I think that as educators who are responsible for that child's education, that we have to look at that. I also think that you have to, as designers and developers of the content, even if you're creating a math course that is based on football, you have to make sure that you are providing a broad enough spectrum of experiences in the content that kids are exposed to what you need them to be exposed to. I think the development of the courses is critical. What we are planning, we have not done what I talked about today, except we are piloting it in Algebra 1, but in terms of the interest-based course effort, that is really a dream for us and something that we are highly committed to moving forward with as we continue to develop, with the whole idea of, if you can engage them in the learning process to where they see that math isn't so bad, then maybe they will be more likely to be comfortable learning it in a different venue.
You referenced kind of some cross-disciplinary concepts, whereas maybe an English teacher would help you work on a thesis for a science project, and then maybe a science teacher would take an English essay project and work on the theory behind it. I guess my question would be, why is that more advantageously done online necessarily? Shouldn't that be something that might be stressed just as heavily in brick and mortar schools?
Absolutely. One of the things about online learning and brick and mortar learning is we should be sharing best practices both ways. Some of what we believe is that when we have teachers who have taught for us online and they go back into the traditional classroom, they'll come back and say, I am such a better traditional classroom teacher than I was before, because they're employing many of these different types of skills that they have learned. So yes, absolutely, I think that could easily be transferred to a traditional classroom in terms of kids being able to meet the standards of one course through a different course and make some forward movement, headway.
Is there a reason that online learning is the kind of catalyst for that?
I think it's easier. I think it's easier in an online learning setting for us to use the technology to actually document the standards that have been met in the different courses, and then to look at it very simply. Whereas if I'm in a traditional classroom, I probably have to input the data, and I have to collaborate with the teacher that's in the room next door. Whereas in an online setting, it's all done behind the scenes. And so I think it's just easier.